Hello there, welcome to Terry's Trains. My name is Terry and I am the owner of this channel, and all the driving on here has been done by me. Sometimes not very good, sometimes
The next
better.
train to arrive at platform 4 will be the 1349 cross-country service to Plymouth.
This is our train coming in on platform 4 now.
Platform 3 for the 1344 Southwestern Railway service to Exeter St David's. Boarding at Exeter St David's.
Right, our train will be coming in on this platform, and it's a class 220 Voyager with 4 cars, and here it is coming down now. It doesn't depart from here till 1349, so we've got a little bit of time to get the cab set up, ready to depart and have a quick look round. Here it comes now, the class 220 Voyager service to Plymouth. Surprises me that it started from Edinburgh and it's only 4 cars. Must be very crowded.
Platform 4 for the 1349 cross-country service to Plymouth. Boarding at Newton Abbot, Thomas and Plymouth.
Right, we'll close the door, we're in the cab.
Is Newton Abbot. This is a cross-country service.
Sit in the seat and get started. There we go. Right, while we're here, we'll get the cab all set up, ready to go. In fact, she already is all set up. That should be in neutral. The DRA should be on because we've got a red signal in front of us. So other than that, we've got lights on the front, which I can tell by looking at that. That knob is in the correct position, and there's a display of what lights are on. The radio cannot be used because it's not functional on these 220s for some reason. Obviously it would be in real life, but not within the game. So here we are. Let's just nip out of the train now she's ready to go. I'll get out of the seat, open the door. Let's go and have a look around. There we are, there's the front. 4-car unit. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. While we're here, we'll check the back of the train. Make sure the red lights are on, tail lights. Yeah, they're all on. I don't know why it says out of service. That service just came in on platform 3. I think we'll find that will be going to London Waterloo. Doesn't say. Could have just come from London Waterloo, that's not sure. Doesn't say on the right. Let's get in the cab where it's a bit quieter. Now I know the train's all ready to go. All we've got to do is select forward on the reverser and drop the brakes off and power up. Right, as I said, my name is Terry, and just for your information, I was a guard here at Exeter St David's for 10 years, from 1989 to 1999. And in that time, the units I mainly guarded on were the 150s, 158s, the 153s, and very occasionally on a 142. I don't like those, the 142s. I find them too noisy, too bouncy. But there, some people do like them. So I've worked this line from here down to Plymouth many, many times, usually all the way to Penzance and back. And that would have been a full duty. So there we go. We're waiting for the red signal to change. Yeah, everything looks okay. Right, it's telling us to load passengers, so we'll open the doors. We've got a green signal now, so I can drop the DRA off. Right, it is already off. It was on earlier on, and I switched it off. Here we go. We all make mistakes. Right, so we're just going to wait for time now. We depart here at 13:49. Got a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit to start off with as we go across the points down over the River Exe. While we're waiting, I will drop the brakes down to minimum and we're ready to go. Well, it says unlock doors, but the doors have been unlocked because passengers are loading, I think. Let's have a look. Do it again. Oh, that's better. I didn't press the button properly. Right, we're loaded now. Close the doors. The doors should always be closed 30 seconds before the train's due to depart. Right, green signal ahead. And when we get closer to that green signal, it should have on top of it DM, which stands for down main, and that's our route set. Right, there we go. And here we've got an HST coming in. These don't actually run in the West Country anymore. They finished a couple of months ago. Right, we won't go over 30 mile an hour, I hope. I do sometimes have a problem with speeding on these. I go a bit too fast, but I'll try and keep it under the speed limit all the way down. Well, we just passed over the River Exe, I believe. And the next station on the line will be Newton Abbot. Well, the next stop will be Newton Abbot. Now we're up to 75, so let's power up, we can go. Now when we get down to Dawlish Warren, although we're not stopping there, we'll be travelling along a very iconic piece of line. It's the most photographed piece of line in the country, so I believe, and that's what they call the sea wall piece that runs from Dawlish Warren down to Dawlish and through to Plymouth. And it's very iconic. You'll have the red cliffs on the right hand side, and you'll have the sea wall and the sea on the left hand side, all built by Isambard King de Brunel. Right, we're approaching 70 mile an hour, so just watch the speed limit. We're going downhill here, so let's bring the power down. Let's let her coast for a minute. Now coming up on the right hand side down here, this blue building with a very thin chimney on is J.L. Thomas, a skin and hide merchant, and the place absolutely stinks. When the wind's blowing in the right direction, you can smell it all over St. Thomas's, which is an area of Exeter. Right, we've got the 100 mile an hour, so we're going to power up to that. Lovely part of the country. I love it down this way. As I have worked this line many times in the 10 years that I was working on the railway. I was a guard and I was due to go up to the driving school. I left in 1999 and I'd have been one of the next guards to go up to the driving school, but I never did it, so there we go, never mind. This is the second best thing, driving it like this. Alright, class 66 going by. Right, we'll throttle back now because we're at 98 miles an hour. I don't want to go over the 100. I'll just put it up to power 2 again. Maybe power 3 or notch 3. Due at Newton Abbot at 14:07, 11 miles to go. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, the subscribe button can be found on my channel page. I'm not a professional like some of the ones that have channels on here for train simulators, but I do enjoy messing around on it and it brings back memories, so there we are. Now we've got a 75 mile an hour speed limit coming up, so we'll start slowing down a little bit. There we are, just in time. Power back up a bit. That's a class 150 going the other way, probably on its way to Exeter, which is on the other side of the water from where we are. Now we're coming down towards Starcross in a minute. And as we go through the station, you'll see on the right hand side, Brunel's pumping house, because this was originally the atmospheric railway built by Brunel, and it used to use pumped air to move the carriages along the track, but it didn't really work out very well. That's when he had it as a 7-foot gauge. Another was aboard. That's because there's a foot crossing coming up. Right, here we are, just going through Starcross now. And just the other side of that big tree is the pumping house. There it is. I think it's a bit of a museum now, if I remember right. Right, now we've got an 80-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up, but we've also got some yellow aspect signals. Safety devices on, I forgot it, but they're on now. Right, all the signals have cleared, so we've got green signals all the way, but we now have to come down to 70 mile an hour in a minute. Here we are, just coming through to Dawlish Warren. See the old Ferris wheel on the left hand side there? Let's slow it down. Oh, we're speeding now, never mind. Soon be out of it. There we are. Right, here we are, the iconic red cliffs of Dawlish of South Devon. Dawlish in South Devon, this is photographed quite a lot. And the beach on the left hand side, the sea wall, very, very famous. Right, just approaching Dawlish. A 60 mile an hour speed limit, so we better slow down. If I go quiet and stop speaking for a while, it's because I'm concentrating on the driving along this route. It can be quite challenging on this route, especially when we get the other side of Newton Abbot. We have 4 banks to either go up or go down, 4 gradients, and they are quite steep. They're very well known in the West Country. And when we had steam engines, always had a banker at the back to help push the train up the banks. That's why it was called a banker. Through the 5 tunnels. I used to know the name of all the tunnels, but I can only remember the last one now. The last one is called Parsons Tunnel. And it was called Parsons Tunnel because just off the edge of the coast there used to be a big rock in the water known as the Parsons Nose. So they called it Parsons Tunnel. It's just around this curve on the right hand side here. There we go, out of the tunnel. And again, more of the red cliffs, with the beach on the left hand side. It looks like the tide is out. And we're not far from Teignmouth now. There's a Class 802 on the up main, and we're on the down main. It's always up to London, down away from London. So up to London, down from London. 75 mile an hour now, so we can use that. $60 mile an hour coming up, so we'll slow down for that one. Here we are, just coming into Teignmouth, run along the platform, and the next stop will be Newton Abbot. That clicking you can hear is me operating the throttle, going up or down through the steps. Right, I'll try and do a good stop at Newton Abbot. We'll be stopping on platform 2, and we'll be looking out for the 4-car marker. The 4-car marker shows the driver the position of where he's got to stop the front vehicle. Right, we've got a 60 mile an hour speed limit coming up. We're approaching 90 at the moment, so let's drop the power off. Let her coast for a bit. Well, it looks... I was going to say I thought we had a red signal coming up, but it's changed again. We've got a green coming up next, and that'll be for the 60. So let's slow the speed down. Right, the next signal is green. There's the AWS ramp for it. see the station coming up on the graph up in the right hand corner. Right, start slowing down. Should be doing 30 mile an hour or less when we get to the end of the platform. So that's going to be okay. We can come down to minimum brake.
Newton Abbot.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform and take care when stepping down from the train.
There's a Voyager going by the other way. Just picking up a little bit of power there. Slowed down a bit early. Right, here's the platform. Right, we've got to look out for the 4-car stop marker. So bring the speed down a bit so we got a chance to find it. Now, if you were a proper driver on this line, you would know where these markers are, because it's part of your driver training that you have to learn them. Right, this one coming up on the right here, I think is 2 and 3, so we want the next one, which will be this one here, 4 and 5. Let us stop on minimum brake. Oh, we're a minute late as well. Come on, stop. That'll do it.
This is Newton Abbot. This is a cross-country service to Plymouth. The next station.
Oh, we're all right. We're off here at 14:09. It's only 14:08 now. We'll be away on time. Newton Abbot, I don't know whether we can see it, across there where that lorry's parked, that building, all that over there used to be the engine sheds, and this was a very, very busy junction in the days of steam. Lots of steam engines, lots of people working here. Lock the doors, we can go. Right, that'll do. Power up to step 3. Oh, next station is Totnes, so we're stopping at Totnes. That'll be interesting.
The next station is Totnes. This is a cross-country service to Plymouth.
Right, we get, once we get outside Newton Abbot, and we get down to the junction where the Torbay line goes off down to Tor and Torquay and Payton, we will start to climb the banks there, and the first bank we go up is called Dainton Bank, and at the top of Dainton Bank we have Dainton Tunnel. Once we've gone through Dainton Tunnel, we go down Totnes Bank, and that'll take us all the way down into Totnes. Right, we'll power up to 60. This is called Aller Junction, A-L-L-E-R, Aller Junction, and this is where the Torbay line goes off from the main line. Right, the Torbay line is going to go off here on our left hand side. That's what those two lines are on the left. And we'll curve round to the right and carry on the main line. But our speed limit now is 60. For quite a way, in fact all the way to Totnes almost. Right, Right, we're curving round to the right. It's a little bit of a downhill here, 2%. But in a minute we'll start climbing the bank. Right, we're going up by 1%, 7%. Climbing the bank now. Oh, there's the 1%, it was 0.7%. Now I might go a bit quiet here because I've got to keep my eyes on the speed. And we've got a 55 coming up in a minute. Now we are 55 mile an hour here. And now you can see we're climbing a bank of 2.2%, which for a train is quite steep. As you can see, our speed is dropping off, so I have to power up a bit more. 2.4% now. Now I'm speeding. Nothing unusual. We are right on the edge of Dartmoor here. Right, here's Dainton Tunnel. And once we get through Dainton Tunnel, we should start going downhill. Yep, here we go, down over Totnes Bank. This will take us all the way into Totnes. .7% going down. This used to be quite a challenge to drivers in the olden days, like I say, we're on steam, and the firemen to build up enough pressure in the boiler to keep the vehicle moving, keep the engine moving. There's an HST going through again. Right, just over 3 miles to Totnes. And for Totnes station we have to go off the main line and go onto the platform line. So we should be controlled by a red signal. and the red signal will be what they call an approach control signal. But we never take it for granted that that signal is going to pull off, so that you can go onto the platform. Sometimes the signalman might make an error and not pull the signal off, or there might be something in the platform that stops us from going in. So we always treat it as a proper stop signal. Right, let's power up a bit now. We're on a flat bit of line here. That's the first signal to show us we've got a red somewhere. We've actually got a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up now, but that won't really apply to us because we've got to go into the platform line. Just gone by the 60, so we can use a little bit of it, but we've got a 45 coming up and probably a red signal. Oh no, 45 straight into the platform, that'll be alright. Right, we'll start bringing it down to 45 now. We got the feathers on top of the green signal, the 5 white lights telling us we're diverting on Route 1. Right, we'll slow down a bit more because we're actually coming into a platform and we need to be 30 miles an hour. And again, we're looking for the 4-car stop marker. And we'll have a look, see where it is. Right, this one here is the 3, so it's the next one. There it is. I see it. I thought I saw it. Yeah, there it is. That'll do us nicely. Right, we're stopped. Doors open on the left-hand side.
To Plymouth. The next station is Plymouth.
And we're off here in a minute's time. A nice little town to visit, Totnes. It is very nice. It's got a main street that goes up a hill through an arch. Very nice place. Right, close the doors. Ready to go. Got a green signal at the end, so we're all right. But it is 25 miles an hour going back out onto the main line. Right, that'll do.
The next station is Plymouth. This is a cross-country service to Plymouth.
Right, out onto the main line. And then 60 mile an hour. Once the back of the train has gone past the 60 mile an hour speed sign. And I'm... Alright, there we are at 60, so let's power up now and go. Right, it's 14:22, we're due into Plymouth at 14:48, we've got 20 miles to go. There is another station between here and Plymouth, it's known as Ivy Bridge, but we're not stopping there. Right, this is a steep bank. This is Rattery Bank. And when we get to the top of this bank, we got what they call the twin bore tunnels to go through. The down main goes through a separate tunnel to the up main. They call it a twin bore. And it's called Marley Tunnel because it's on the top of the bank, which is known as Marley Head. So we'll be going through Marley Tunnel when we get to the top. Now when we get to the top of Hemerton Bank, which goes down to Plymouth, you'll know where the start of the bank is because there are two close shallow arch bridges. Well, they're close together and that's at the top of the bank. I'll point them out when we get there if I can remember. You've got to be on and off the throttle on this sort of line all the time. just to keep your power going. We're not far from the edge of Dartmoor here actually. We're actually running along the southern edge of it. If you look at the three dials in front of us, the top right is the speedometer, and I've been reliably told that this is the way it actually is in the Class 220, and it seems to be a very small speedometer. It's hard to read. I'm glad I got it up on the top left hand side. Right, we're on a flat piece of line here. And it starts going up again. And here we are, Marley Head, Marley Tunnels, the twin bores. Quite a long tunnel. If I remember right, this tunnel was dug because the landowner back in the 1800s didn't want to see the trains crossing his land. So they had to put these tunnels in under his land so he couldn't see it from his big mansion. That's what we were told anyway. Right, we're going on a downward gradient now. Right, we've got 20 minutes before we're due into Plymouth, but we've got 15 miles to go, so that's not too bad. We can do that. Surprising the knowledge that I've kept since I was on the railway here. And one of the markers I know when we're approaching Ivy Bridge is there's a little factory on the right hand side with a chimney. And when you see that, you know you're coming into Ivy Bridge. Now there was talk of putting in place an avoider line to miss all this line when the seas were rough back at Dawlish and Dawlish Warren, along that area. And the Voyager line was to start at Cowley Bridge Junction at Exeter and go all the way up through Oakhampton, come around the top of the moor by Tavistock, and then come down into Plymouth at the other side of Devonport. But they've never actually put it into operation. I think the problem is in the Tavistock area there is a tunnel which is in very, very bad condition, and it would take a lot of money to put it right, so they haven't done it. But the trains do run to Oakhampton from Exeter St David's. Well, they used to. I don't know whether they still do. Perhaps they do. Again, like I said, I'm not talking a lot at the moment because I am concentrating on the speed, trying not to speed. As you can see, it's a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit along here, and we're doing 59 at the moment, and we're on a downward gradient, so I have to. The train is just rolling by itself, it's coasting, or it was. Now we can come up to notch 3, no, step 3. The notches are the brakes, the steps are on the throttle. Going over a viaduct. Quite a few viaducts along this section. Right, you can see the chimney on the right hand side to the little factory. And this shows we're coming into Ivy Bridge. There we are. It's not such a little factory, it's quite a big one really, I suppose. I don't know what they do there. Somebody will tell me, I expect. Right, here's Ivy Ridge coming up. Now I'm looking out for these two, what they call shallow arch bridges that are reasonably close together. This is the start of Hemerdon Bank. When you see these two arch bridges, you know Hemerdon Bank is starting, and it is quite a drop down, so you've got to make sure the train doesn't run away with you. Another viaduct. Now, if I remember right, this downward bank we're approaching, Hemerdon Bank, I think it's about 4.5 miles long. There's a Voyager going the other way. Ah, it's a 10 car. Or 8 car, one of the two. Another viaduct coming up. Like I say, there are a lot of these, especially when you get down into Cornwall. Once you go through Plymouth, you get over the Royal Albert Bridge into Saltash and start driving through Cornwall. There are lots and lots of viaducts. It's a very twisty line, this. Very, very little straight sections. It can be tricky bringing a train into Plymouth as well, into the station, because you're travelling downhill to get into the station, so you've got to hold the train back quite a bit. Right, just coming up now is the first of the shallow arched bridges, which donates the top of Hemerdon Bank. That's the first one. There's the second one, and you can see the line curving down already. And it's gone up to 80 mile an hour, so we can go down at 80 mile an hour, but 2.4% going down. Bring the power back. Got to be on the brakes here. I say, we are running down into Plymouth now, 5.3 miles to go. As we approach Plymouth, on the left hand side you'll see the big Lyra TMD, Traction and Maintenance Depot. Still going downhill. Like I said, it is quite a steep bank to go down. It's a long bank as well. Used to really test the old steam drivers and their firemen. Right, I think it's levelling out now. And we've got a 60-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up. Right, a little goods yard here to go through. Oh, I'm well above the speed limit here. Should be 60. Oh no. You only get 2.6 seconds to cancel that buzzer, so I think I only just made it there. Right, got a red signal coming up. Here's the traction and maintenance depot on the left hand side. Slowing down for the signal. If you've got a red signal, you should be doing 20 mile an hour at the AWS ramp, which is this in the centre of the track now. 20 miles an hour or less. Now the signal might pull off, it might not, we'll have to see. We are 4 minutes early. There we are, holder here. We'll apply the DRA because we are at a red signal. Now when the DRA is active, oh, it's just gone to yellow. So take the DRA off. And we'll power up. But we have got another red signal ahead of us. Naughty things happen if you go past a red signal. Definitely tea and biscuits with the manager. So we're approaching a red signal again, so we'll take it gentle. Just start slowing down a little bit. Now we can see the red signal ahead of us. When you stop at a red signal, you always stop in the rear of the signal. If you're in advance of the signal, it means you've gone by it. Now I am powering up a little bit. You shouldn't really power up coming towards a red signal. But I've let her slow down a bit too much. But she'll now coast forward to the signal. There we are, we've come to a stop, apply the DRA again, wait for the signal to change. Right, signal hasn't changed. What we'll do is we'll call the signalman. Contact signaler. Denied, wait for signal to change, so he knows we're here anyway. Right, we just got to sit and wait now, and wait for the signal to change. Might be something coming out of Plymouth. There we are, signal's changed. DRA off. That's it. Now we can power up. Oh, we got a green. Yeah, we were waiting for something to leave the station, going down to Cornwall. Leave the platform. The platform we wanted was occupied. Right, we've got a 55-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up, and then dropping down to 25. And that'll all be on a downward gradient. Well, we're a bit late, but that's down to the signalman, not us. Right, slow down to 25. Now I don't know the name of this tunnel. Could be Plymouth Tunnel, it could be Lyra Tunnel. Again, I expect somebody will let me know. Right, then we're downhill all the way into Plymouth. Platform 5 on the indicator there.
We are now approaching Plymouth.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform, and take care when stepping down from the train.
That was an HST that just came out again. Like I said, they have stopped running on the Great Western region now. Right, minimum brake. There's the station, and we're going into platform 5. And it's 1.2 downward gradient coming into the station, 1.1 now. Here we are, so it's going to be doors on the right hand side. Right, looking for the 4-car marker again. Right, what do they say there? 2 to 4, that will do us. Right, doors open on the right hand side. There we go. Let's have a look, see what's happening out there. There are people getting off the train. Back inside. It tells us now to lock doors, so we'll lock the doors. Right, tells us our performance. There we are. Speeding 245 minus points. Never mind. Still a good number. 59. 590,000 is the maximum you can get, and we've got 589,389, so that's okay. I'm happy with that. All right, back to continue. Return to free roam, and now we shut the engine down. We put the brakes into maximum brake. We know the throttle is off. We put the reverser into off. The engine starts to die down, and then we switch her out. Like that. Take the key with us. That's the train all secure. Now we jump out of the seat, and this could be a bit of fun here. Open the door and go for it. There we are. Close the door back up, and that's the end of the journey. Hope you enjoyed that. A bit of speeding, a couple of mistakes, but we made it. So come back again and see what else I've got on my channel. There's about 7 or 8